Hi, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here and this is your first time, welcome. My name is Rebecca. Today I want to share with you a list of 28 food items that are going to last you indefinitely, especially if they're never opened. Obviously, they're going to last for a very long time, but even if they are opened, if you store them properly, these are foods that are going to last you a very long time. So maybe you're just starting a prepper pantry, or you already have one and you're unsure of how long these foods can last. I've put together a list for you of what the food is, why it's good to have, how you should store it, how to know when it's gone bad, and any other tips or tricks that you may need to know about these food items. I tried to keep it short and sweet, and I hope I didn't miss anything, but I really hope that you guys find this useful. Dried beans like kidney, pinto, and black beans are very inexpensive, high in fiber, and versatile. Unofficially, they will last forever if stored properly in food-grade packaging, sealed buckets, or Mylar bags that have oxygen absorbers. You'll know they've gone bad if there's bugs, mold, or a strong smell. Nutritionally, they will decrease in value after 2 to 3 years, and they may lose their oil and not rehydrate properly if stored for too long of a time. Raw honey is a natural sweetener and is high in anti-inflammatory properties as well as antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins, and this will last forever if stored in a cool, dry place with no moisture. Just because it's crystallized doesn't mean it's gone bad. You just need to run your jar of honey underneath some hot water to reconstitute the honey. You do want to make sure you don't get any water in it, because that is going to make the honey go bad and can turn white if it has gone bad. White rice is inexpensive, calorie dense, and a good source of carbs, as well as being versatile. This will last indefinitely. You want to store it in food grade packaging, sealed buckets, or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. If it's gone bad, you will see bugs, or if any water has contaminated it, you may see mold or smell a strong smell. Instant wild rice can last for over 30 years, but you want to stay away from storing brown, black, or purple rice for any longer than 18 months. Sugar is a basic staple found in many recipes that's versatile, and it gives you glucose for energy that you need. You can store this indefinitely. You want to keep it in food grade buckets or containers, and you can even keep it in canning jars. If moisture has gotten into it, you may see mold or there may be bugs present. That means it's no longer good. Sugar can absorb odors, so you want to be mindful of that when you're storing it around anything else that has a strong odor. Chicken or beef bouillon are inexpensive, require no refrigeration, and are versatile. They will last for several years past the best by date. There is some debate about how long they last, but they will last for a long time if you store them in a cool, dry place in the original packaging. If you see mold, have a strong odor, or a change in color, those are signs that they've gone bad. When they get really old, the cubes can get quite brittle. Dried powdered milk is more shelf stable than regular milk, so it's good to have around. It will last for up to 10 years after its best by date. You want to store it in its original package, and you can even throw it in the freezer in a tightly sealed package. If it has a bad smell or a yellow color, that means it has possibly gone bad. And non-fat lasts longer than whole milk or buttermilk, so that is something to consider when you are buying dried powdered milk for storage. Ghee is a clarified butter that requires no refrigeration, and it's good for people who are lactose intolerant. It doesn't really expire, but it can lose quality after its best by date. You want to store it with a tight lid in a dark place, and you can also freeze it. You'll know it's gone bad if it has a bad smell, if it tastes sour, if there's mold present, or if it is white in color. There is some debate about whether or not it should be refrigerated, but you really don't have to. Brown sugar is versatile and can actually be used topically as an antibiotic. It's great for baking and sweetening dishes. It will last indefinitely. You want to keep it in a dark and dry place, tightly sealed, or you can store several bags in a 5-gallon bucket. If there's bugs or mold, you'll know that it's gone bad. Bread can be used as a brown sugar keeper if you don't have one of those little brown sugar keeper bears, or you can make your own by mixing molasses and white sugar. Salt is another versatile ingredient, and it's essential for dietary needs, and it's good for food preservation. This is going to last forever. You want to store it in an original airtight container and place away from the stove or your dishwasher, anywhere that there's heat. You'll know it's gone bad if it's crusty or hard or turns yellowish. Salt water is good for gargling, for a sore throat or swollen gums, and you can also put it in neti pots. Oatmeal is high in protein, fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants, and it will last for up to 30 years. You want to store it in a cool, dry place in an airtight container. If it becomes discolored, has bugs, mold, or a strong smell, you will know that it has gone bad. There are many different kinds of oats, including steel cut, rolled, and raw, and they all have several different uses, so it is a very versatile ingredient. Wheat berries are the edible part of a wheat kernel, and they can be ground into flour. You can sprout them, you can boil them, and they're very nutritional. They're going to last for 30 plus years. You want to store them in an airtight container in a dry, dark place. You can store it in a 5-gallon bucket lined with mylar. You want to make sure that the berries are intact. If they feel moist or soggy or have a sour odor, you'll know that they have gone bad. Baking soda has many uses, including baking, first aid, hygiene, and cleaning. It will last indefinitely, but it can lose its potency. You want to store it in a dry, airtight container. To see if it's gone bad or is still potent, you can add vinegar or lemon to see if it fizzes. If it does, it's still good. And also important to note that baking powder and baking soda are not interchangeable. Cornstarch is great as a thickening agent, a cleaner, and a deodorizer, so it's very versatile. This will last indefinitely. You want to store it in a cool, dry place in its original container. If it gets wet, it's not going to be useful to you anymore. And it's also great for entertaining your kids by making oobleck, which is just a mixture of cornstarch and water based on a book by Dr. Seuss, and it is super fun. Pure vanilla extract, not the imitation, is a good antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and it adds flavor and is very versatile. This will last indefinitely if stored in an airtight jar in a cool, dark place. If it's gone bad, the vanilla aroma will be gone, and it could lessen in flavor or get a sediment that comes on the bottom. Do not refrigerate or freeze pure vanilla extract. Instant dry potato flakes are very versatile. You can add them to many dishes. They're calorie dense and affordable. They are going to last upwards of 25 years. You want to store them in a cool, dry place with oxygen absorbers. If they get wet, they're going to go bad. Oil or butter or milk powder in flakes can go rancid, so you want to be mindful of that when you are buying them if they have those ingredients in them. White vinegar is another versatile ingredient. You can add it to dressings, you can use it for cleaning or pickling. This is going to last indefinitely. You want to store it in an airtight container outside of direct sunlight. If there is a change in color or sediment appears, it may mean that its peak quality has been lost. The acidic properties in white vinegar means that it does not need to be refrigerated after it's been opened. 100% raw maple syrup is also a natural sweetener, and it will last indefinitely. You want to store it in a glass bottle, and once it's opened, you can store it tightly in the fridge, but there is some debate about whether or not it needs to go into the fridge. If it's developed mold or a bad smell, that may be a sign that it has gone bad. You can store it for a long time, and if you do, the color can darken, and it can develop sediment on the bottom, but it is still safe to eat. Soy sauce can be used as a marinade and in dressings, and it is debatable about how long this will last, but sources say up to 10 years. You want to store it away from heat and direct sunlight. Some say that refrigeration is best, but that is also something that has been debated. If you see a change in color or a smell or mold, that's a sign that it's gone bad. This can get white floaties on them. It's a film yeast that can mess with the flavor. You just want to remove that if those are present. Apple cider vinegar is another versatile ingredient. It can be used for cleaning or cooking, and it's actually good for you. It's considered a superfood. This is going to last indefinitely. You want to store it in a cool, dark place, tightly sealed. If it's gone bad, you will have noticeable changes in color or taste. This may become cloudy after time, but it is still safe to use if you do see cloudiness in the bottle. Corn syrup is a great ingredient to have around the house if you are making baked goods. This is going to last indefinitely. You want to store it at room temperature and away from sunlight, so in a cool, dry, dark place. You'll know it's gone bad if the smell is off or any foreign particles get into the bottle. That's really the only way that this ingredient is going to go bad. It can darken in color, but if it does, it is still safe for you to use. Hard liquor seems pretty self-explanatory for why people would want to have this ingredient around. This is going to last almost indefinitely depending on the kind of alcohol that it is, although I don't know how long people actually keep it around. You want to keep it tightly sealed, or you can store it upright in the freezer. It's not going to freeze. If it's gone bad, there may be a change in taste or potency. And light, temperature, and air can alter the flavor of hard liquors. Raw cocoa powder can be used in hot chocolate and has known health benefits. The flavonoids in it can increase blood flow and oxygen to your brain. This can store indefinitely, but the quality can lower. You want to store in a cool, dry place, tightly sealed. If it has a funny odor or is clumpy, you'll know that it has gone bad. And if you keep this for a long time, the flavor can lessen, but unless it gets wet, it's really not going to go bad. Instant coffee is another thing that people will have in their homes for obvious reasons. This will last for up to 20 years, but I also don't know anyone who's keeping coffee around for that long. You want to store it in an airtight container, and you can keep it in the freezer. The coffee will not freeze, so there's no defrosting needed, which is an added bonus. If it's gone bad, it will lose its flavor or smell or taste stale. Tea bags are another thing that people may have around for obvious reasons, especially if you're not a coffee drinker. This is also going to last indefinitely. You can store it in a tin, or you want to keep it in an airtight container. The taste can get stale, or if you see any mold present, that's a sign that it has gone bad. Tea is also great for adding to compost, but because it adds nitrogen-rich components into your soil. Popcorn kernels are another great thing to have around. They're great to have for snacking, and these are going to last indefinitely. You're going to want to store them in an airtight container in a dark, dry place. If they do go bad, there may be bugs present. You can get inconsistent and uneven popping, and they may darken in color over time. If they are pretty old, then they are going to pop pretty inconsistently. Dried lentils are a very versatile ingredient and offer a wide variety of vitamins and minerals, and these will also last indefinitely. You want to store them in a cool, dry, dark place in its original packaging. If they've gone bad, you will see bugs, mold, and possibly a bad smell. And this, along with the beans, can lose quality and lose the vitamins and minerals they have if they're stored for a very long time. Dried pasta is another really versatile ingredient that people should have in their homes. It's versatile, it's carb dense, it's calorie dense, and it's really inexpensive. This is going to last indefinitely. You also want to store this in a cool, dry, dark place and keep it in its original packaging. So if you see the presence of mold or bugs or a bad smell, that's a sign that it has gone bad, and this can also lose quality over time. The last item on the list is dried spices. These are great for cooking, baking, and adding flavor to dishes. These are going to last you forever. You want to store them in a cool, dry, dark place in airtight containers. If they've gone bad, you will notice maybe a loss of flavor, or if there's any moisture or bugs present, that's another sign that they've gone bad. And these can lose potency and taste over time, but unless you're getting them wet, they're really going to last you forever. So that was my list of 28 foods that are going to last you indefinitely. Please use your best judgment when you are trying to decide whether or not a food has gone bad. Obviously, if there are obvious signs of bugs or a bad smell or odor or something like that, or mold, you know that it's gone bad. You're not going to want to use it. Use your judgment. There's so many ways you can store food and that you can preserve food. So those are good options as well if you're looking at some long-term food storage. I hope that you guys liked this video and found it useful, and if you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.